earGROUND Radio. New voices amplified.
Welcome to your ground, and my name is King Boaz, New Voices Amplified. And today on the show, we have another queen in the building. We always do this, bring you some down ones that some of you don't know about, some of you might have heard a bit about, but we try by all means to bring them and make sure that you get to know them in detail. So this time I have Rudo. Amor. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yes, you are. That is perfect. At least it's not like Rudo Ama or Rudo Amare. That's perfect.
Yeah, all right. So is Rudo Ama your birth name?
I so wish it is not my birth name. My birth name is actually Rudo. I just have one name, and then my surname is Nyoni. Yeah, Nyoni from Zambia. So hey, please don't grill me on my Isindebele.
Muribanji.
Hey, Tribuino.
Yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's almost all the Zambia I know when it comes to greeting. I think the other thing that I know is to
Yeah.
say, is it thank you? Um, come on now. I've forgotten, but I know how to say thank you. I've forgotten what
At
to say.
least it's better. It's better. Some of us have been colonized, you know. like, like it's only like recently, you know, like the past 2 years where I've been really going back to my roots and finding out more, you know, about languages, my heritage and everything.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us
Yeah.
about your childhood. Where did you grow up? Any fond memories from your childhood?
Okay, so I grew up in Bulayo. Um, let's see. Yeah, guys, you know, my childhood was very interesting, eh? I'm a pastor's kid.
Yeah.
So already that says a lot, eh? So you know, it was a lot of, you know, church and sharing your parents with the congregation, you know. So which was cool at most times, you know. But I think, you know, for me, my fond memories in terms of growing up was, sure, there's a lot, eh? We
Yeah.
used to love going out for dinner and holidays, things like that. Like I really enjoyed that. Like it's so important to bond, you know,
Yeah.
with your kids while they're still young. Because I remember like I remember like a couple of years ago, actually, we went to Durban
Yeah.
and my father was like, let's take a walk. We got lost in we walked for hours. I think we walked for like 4 hours until he called for a
Oh,
cab because he had no idea where we were. You know,
yeah.
so that's how my childhood was. You know, we were always up for an adventure, you
Yeah.
know, and it was always laughing at my parents. I think that's like the typical thing as kids. We love to laugh at our parents.
All right. Yeah. So with your parents being pastors, you being obviously
Yeah.
a pastor's kid, if you look back
Yeah.
then, do you think there could have been more in your life? Because I interact with a lot of pastors' kid, and they always say that sometimes we are forced to be pastors ourselves as young as we are. People
Yeah.
already have a standard of what they
Yeah.
expect us, which is usually makes our childhood hard. How would you say
Mm.
that affected your childhood compared to someone else who was free to be a child and do whatever? Maybe this is someone you're in class with.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the pressure is definitely there, Like I would always tell people that when you're a pastor's kid, you are supposed to be perfect at all times. Like you can't be angry about anything. You can't you have to maintain like a facade,
Yeah,
So it was like I grew up pretending to be like this perfect person, always caring, always listening. Whereas, my mom is like very special. Like she adopts like a lot of people in terms of, pastoring them and mentoring them and counseling them. So a
yeah,
lot of people expected me to be the same, being the firstborn, you know. So from a very young age, like I was always expected to have all of the answers. And they weren't really around. Hey, I think the only times we would really spend time together was like weekends, maybe
oh,
Saturday night or Friday night. But otherwise, every other day, someone is sick, someone needs this, they're going to
yeah,
visit this person, this one is getting married, this one needs counseling. So yeah, it does put you in sort of like you're rushed in terms of learning how to take care of yourself, learning how to solve your own problems by yourself. But I'm so fortunate that, hey, by the grace of God, I didn't go mad, guys. Like, yay, I could have. I could have, but somehow I stayed sane. I don't see myself becoming a pastor. I think it's a lot of pressure. I do see myself, helping other people, assisting other people, because I love being a nurturer.
yeah. All right, nice. So,
Mm.
what was your first interaction with music? Obviously, I suppose this will have so much to do with the church because I think it's so,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. My first interaction with music, they actually baby pictures of me when
yeah,
I think I was like one or something like that. And I'm like sitting on a baby's chair and I'm like singing, for people who would come to celebrate, my first birthday. So I
uh,
I can't remember that, but the pictures show that. My
yeah,
parents loved music. My parents actually met through praise and worship. My mom was a singer. My dad used to play in the band. So that's how they met. So music was definitely there from like day one. I
all right,
my first, I think for me, I didn't necessarily start singing in the church. First of, it was actually my music teacher in primary school. I think it
oh,
was like grade 5, grade 6. She noticed that I had a talent, and then she decided to take me for lessons. And then that's when my parents were like, okay, so if you can sing at school, then you can sing at church.
all right, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
we'll come back to your music.
yeah,
But you've also done modeling. And then
yeah.
maybe let's talk about what type of modelings are out there. What is it that each will be looking at? What characteristic will an individual supposed to have to pursue a certain type of modeling?
Mm. For me, I got into modeling by error, by mistake.
All
I
right.
was actually auditioning for Isikosho Samakosi. It used to be there way back. I shouldn't even have mentioned that because people are going to start calculating my age. So it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I was auditioning to be one of the female vocalists for this festival. And
All
they're
right.
like, why don't you model? And I was like, okay. I hadn't done catwalk modeling. I'd
All right.
always pretended to be Miss World, like since I was a baby, like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
so honored, to receive this. Type thing. So
Yeah.
I think it came naturally for me. So I didn't really receive a lot of training in terms of modeling. So I got straight into catwalk modeling. With catwalk, you have to be a certain height. Most of the times they prefer females to be about 1.7, being the shortest. Sometimes I've seen some models actually who are on the catwalk nowadays who 1.6,
Yeah.
You also have to be a certain weight. At least thank God nowadays it's not skinny, anorexic type of weight. But I was very skinny. I was very skinny when I started modeling. So it was perfect for me. So I did
All right.
catwalk modeling. And then I was introduced to commercial modeling, where you get to work with different brands, promoting their products, promoting whatever service, being there as a model escort, like when there are functions, like a model usher. So I got into that. So now basically what I've been trying to do is to cement my brand in terms of trying to align myself with more corporates. In order to be a corporate model, you do definitely have to have a certain persona. You have to be someone who's confident, someone who looks after themselves, someone
Yeah.
who's got a clean, record, like, someone who's respectful, someone with a lot of etiquette. And then, of course, there's pageantry. I never did pageantry.
All right.
I am too competitive. I'm too competitive. I watched a lot of my friends, do pageantry modeling, and some of them did really well, getting
Yeah.
crowns and things like that. And for years they tried to drag me into it, but for me, I felt like it wasn't a space that I wanted to be in. I didn't want to compete for a title to
All
be
right.
named the most beautiful and things like that, because I thought, hey, my ego, guys, if they don't crown me, oh. so, so yeah, so it was mostly an ego issue, but it was
Yeah.
also the fact that a lot of my other peers who actually got into pageantry modeling,
Yeah.
there's this, it's a bad seedy thing that happens, behind the scenes, in terms of pageantry, where you get older men, businessmen who pretend to be sponsors and want to be your mentors and things like that. And that's where they fish, So
Yeah.
I watched a lot of my friends being
Oh,
abused,
yeah.
being abused, and pageantry is very expensive because you need a certain diet that you have to stick to. You have to have your dresses in order, your shoes, your hair, everything, So it is expensive. So
Yeah.
sometimes females do feel the pressure to engage in these transactional relationships, so that
Yeah.
they can further their career in pageantry. Yeah.
All right. Nice. So as a model, commercial model, what have you
Mm.
achieved? What would be the highlights of that career this far?
Um, I always love to say this, guys. I haven't reached like the pinnacle of where I want to reach, I would love to work with like really big brands like Samsung, but thus far, like God has been really good to me because
Yeah.
I've been able to work with Edgar's. Um, I've done a lot of work for them, like in terms of catwalk, in terms of the in-store promotions and different types of promotions. I've worked with PPC
Yeah.
for with PPC, I've worked with them, I think over 5, 6 years. 5, 6 years. My
Ah,
latest job with them was during the PPC Jerusalem challenge, where I got
ah,
to put on my acting skills for a few seconds, pretending to be a news reporter. Now that was
all right.
exciting. And then also working with Econet, like now working with Sasai in terms of, being a brand ambassador for that. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's been amazing working with all of these different brands, and I just hope that, I'll be able to work with more brands in the future.
All right. Nice. Yeah. Coming
Mm.
back to your music, this is
Mm.
because I kind of calculated your age, so I won't I won't say
I'm
where I am,
21.
but but I think you waited for so long for you to record your first
Yes,
single
I
in
did.
2012,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
I Need a Savior. What was happening musically? Because you were already in music at 12, and then you waited for all these years
Yeah,
to record in
I
2012.
know.
What was happening,
Yeah.
and what was the inspiration for you to say, right now I need to get into the studio and do I Need a Savior?
Well, I did a lot of choir work, so I used to work with a lot of choirs in terms of grooming them, doing vocal training with them. And then I also, I did quite a bit, hey? Because what I told myself is when I got into music, I think I was about 19 when I got into it, like seriously. I was
Yeah.
like, I want to get the most out of this. So I want to learn the most that I can. I started working with Take Sure's Amor. I think I was in my early 20s. So I was one of the backup vocalists and a lead vocalist
Oh,
for Worship Addicts that's under Take Shows Amor. So I
yeah.
worked with them for about 4 years. We did a lot of recordings together. There's a song that I did, Invade My Life, that
Oh,
he wrote.
yeah.
It was such an honor because he wrote that song and he was like, you know what, I'm not going to feature in the song, Rudo. I want you to sing the song. And yeah, for me, that was a great honor. He really did mentor me in terms of how to be a really, really grounded worship artist. So I
Oh,
worked with Textual. I worked with even STA choirs, eh? I
yeah.
recorded even with like STA choirs in terms of like, the backing. Like those guys know how to back. Like their
Yeah.
vocals are really good. And I really wanted to get that. So it's only in 2011, yeah, 2011, when a friend of mine, T Wanda,
Yeah.
shout out to Mr. T Wanda,
Yeah.
he's been a brother to since I was 14. So there was a song, like I Need a Savior, and I'm like, there's a song that I wrote, but I don't know if it's good or what. And he's like, okay, let me listen to it. And he listened to it. And he was like, okay, you need to get this into the studio. Now he knows me. I tend to procrastinate at times. So he was like, I'm going to go and book, at the studio. I was like, okay, that's fine. So he
Yeah.
booked, we recorded with Face the Records music,
All right.
and he featured, Wanda featured in the song, and the inspiration behind that song was, guys, it's so deep now, eh? We're getting deep into it. I'm a very emotional artist, So in 2011, I had broken up with this other guy. We had dated for almost 4 years. And he sent me a horrible message. Hey, I was devastated, So I was so devastated. At that point, I hadn't written any music. Like, I had no idea how do you write music and so forth, And then this melody from nowhere started coming, And I wrote that song, I think within 10 minutes, from like verses, chorus, everything. It was all done, So it was inspiration, It was my prayer to God saying that, what, I've tried everything else and I know that I only need you.
Yeah. All right. Nice. How was the reception? Did you push it on radio stations? How did it go? Were you happy with the reception that it received at the time?
When I got into it, I had no idea in terms of like marketing and advertising. Like, how do you push music online? How do you push music in terms of radio? But I had some good friends, who listened to the song, at the studio, and they're like, you know what, we need to push it on radio.
Yeah.
So it received really good feedback on radio. I was surprised, guys, because I was like, okay, this is my first song. Like I wasn't expecting much from it, but it was good in terms of the coverage that it received. A lot of people could relate to it. I didn't push it in terms of online
Yeah.
because at that point, to be honest, like I didn't even know, like, how do you get a song on iTunes? Like, how do you do it,
Yeah.
So I didn't push it online. It's only I think in the past couple of years, that's when, I was like, what, let me put this song online, and listen to what people are saying, about it.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So between I Need a Savior and your recent single, which
Yeah,
we're going to talk about
yeah.
later, is there anything musical? Were there any heartbreaks that inspired you to write something there?
Oh, there were many, there were many. You know, like I think I should like with each song I should be like inspired by.
Bye.
You know, so 2012 I recorded I Need a Savior. And then in
Yeah.
2014, that's when I met Skyva, you know, and he was like, girl, you know, you need to do house. I was like, hey, house music, my
Yeah.
voice like this, like, how is that going to work, you know?
Yeah.
So we recorded something actually in 2015. It's Love. That was my first house song I had ever written, you know, and when we recorded it, funny enough, it got nominated for a Zimmer, it got nominated for a Nama, you know, for Best House Song. And then the following year, um, it actually won an award for the Best House Song under the Zimmer Awards. So I was like, okay, that's surprising, you know. So with Skype, I did another track with him. I did quite a number of tracks with different people, but I didn't release some of them because I wasn't happy with the quality of the records, you know, and being a female artist, you know, I must say this, it's not easy sometimes recording with male producers because everything would be fine. Like I would do deals with male producers, but okay, fine. You're going to record my EP, we agree on a price, everything is fine. Then all of a sudden, guys start catching feelings and starts making. Then me being Rudo, I decline, you know.
Yeah.
And then, you know, some of those records would actually just get lost. Like they would just be messed up. Like to this day, I still don't have some of my music. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So then in 2017 did another song. 2018 did Drifting Away. Then I
Yeah.
did Survivor. Yeah, Survivor actually came out in 2017, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Survivor came out in 2017. I did the remix with these really, really cool guys, Love and House. That was released in 2018. And then Choose came last year.
Yeah. All right. With choose, who are we choosing here? If you, if you finally find someone who's saying no, don't worry, I will stitch that.
Oh my God.
What's happening with choose? What's the theme of the song and
Oh
how it's
God.
been out for a couple of months and
Yeah,
how has been the reception? Is the radio playing it? What's happening to it?
yeah. So it's okay. So I was recording another song called Satisfy, and I am still working on that song.
Yeah.
So I was in the middle of recording Satisfy, and then started liking this other guy. Hey, you know, he was such a gentleman, so sweet, so charming, you know. And then, so I celibate, right? And he was like, celibate at your age. Never. If you want a relationship, you know, we can be serious, but you know, like, you know, I can't have that type of relationship. So I had to choose between him and my moral code, you know.
All
So
right.
that was painful. So that's the reason why like I wrote the song.
Yeah.
Like it was the same way that I got I Need a Savior. Like it just like the melody just came, the lyrics just came, and the reception has been wonderful, has been
Yeah.
really, really wonderful. I thought initially that Choose would really like relate to people in my age bracket, you know, but I get 16-year-olds, you know, who come to me and they tell me that how that song has really helped them, you know. People even in terms of business, you know, because sometimes you're forced with choosing, you know,
Yeah.
your ethical values or getting that paper, you know. So
Yeah.
it's been really wonderful. Radio has been amazing. Like, thank you so much to all of the radio stations, you know. Um, it's been playing on all of the major radio stations in Zimbabwe. It's been really doing well on Sky's Metro. Like, it was on the charts for a long time and it was hitting number one. And so, like, I was, you know, it's always a blessing as a singer and a songwriter when people can relate to your music and people actually like your music. That's like, yay. Because with me, I've told myself, even if people don't like my music, I'll still sing. I'll sing for Spooky here. Yeah, so it's been amazing. I can only really thank God and all of my fans and supporters for the way that they've been supporting me.
Nice. I've listened to Choose. I've listened to Survivor. I think out of all,
Nice.
I've listened to I Need a Savior, but Choose and Survivor, I think they're quite
Oh, wow.
in terms of lyrics, they're quite deep. They really,
Thank
it really shows
you.
where it's coming from and what you're trying to achieve.
Oh,
Really love those two. Yeah. So we're coming to the end
thank
of
you.
the interview, but I have a couple of things maybe that I want clarity on. You've been an ambassador. You've been privileged enough to be an ambassador as an artist. Maybe if you can just briefly tell us, what does an ambassador do when an artist is called upon to say you're an ambassador of this brand?
Mm,
What does that mean? And also we need the paper, we need the money. Is this
yeah, yeah, yeah,
beneficial at the end of the day within the Zimbabwean context?
yeah. Like ambassador really means different things for different countries. For other countries, like it's a lot of financial benefit, guys. Like if you're an ambassador for a huge brand, like Nike, you already know that, okay, you've got free access to all of their clothing, allowances, and things like that. But with Zim, it's a bit different. It's a bit structured a bit differently because of our economy. For me personally, I have different contracts that I have with different companies and different brands.
All
I've
right.
been an ambassador for different clothing brands. Like, for instance, this beautiful outfit that I am wearing. This is by designer Andre.
All right.
He's an amazing designer. By being an ambassador, the most important thing is to align yourself with a company or a brand that is similar to yours. Yeah.
All
You as an artist, whether you're an artist, whether you're a model, you have to sit down and understand that, okay, who am I as a model? Who am I as an artist? What do I want to accomplish? What do I want to achieve? What is my message at the end of the day? When people look at me, are they seeing who I'm trying to represent? So with a lot of the companies that I, what can I say, that I attract and target, are
Yeah.
companies that are very socially conscious. You know, they're socially conscious about women's rights. Like for instance, there's a beautiful boutique that's called Impala Guest House, and with them, they're very very passionate about empowering young women. So and that's what I'm also passionate about as well. What I do advise people to do is to ask themselves, okay, is the finances more important? Are the finances more important? Or can it be a barter exchange? What can the company or the brand do for you? Like with Impala Boutique, what I did was like, okay, that's fine. You don't have to pay me, but when I do my photo shoots, when I have stuff, are you able to open up your facilities for me to use, for free or at a very, very, very small amount?
Yeah.
So that's my advice for people. Go for it, because at the end of the day, we need to make money. You can't rely on music sales because there's very few people in Zimbabwe who are making money through selling their music online. So you have to figure out, how as an artist are you going to make money? As a model, it's not about likes, you know yes, brands will look at your social media to see how many likes you have, but that shouldn't be your ultimate goal. Your ultimate goal must be, okay, how am I going to build my brand? 10 years from now, what will I say? What have I accomplished? We don't want, um, what can I say? The world is an oyster.
Yeah.
It's yours. So be ambitious, go for it. So that's my advice.
All right. Yeah. Now you are working with Sai Sai and as a content creator. what's your role and what content are you creating? Where do we see what you are creating as an artist? Does this have to do anything with the music you make, or this is some creative space that you are also exploring?
Yeah, with Sci-Fi, it's a great app. You know, it's a really great app, and what they're trying to do is to develop a community. It's sort of like what they want to do is to try and emulate TikTok. You know, have a space where people can just share, whether it's music, whether it's podcasts, whether it's videos, whatever it is, dance and so forth. So for me, on Sci-Fi, what I share mostly is my music. What I share most is my music, but what I'm trying to do now is to create a lifestyle, right? Because there's so many things that I do. Like I'm a singer, songwriter, model. I'm a property sales consultant, you know, and I'm a programs manager for a local initiative. So I'm trying to incorporate all of those different sides of who I am and have people take a look into my life with, oh, okay, what is she up to? What is property? You know, how does modeling and property like gel together? But they really gel together
Yeah,
quite, you know, quite well. I think you've seen, like, especially on YouTube, right? When you
yeah,
see all those beautiful ladies, like, oh, and then the interior is what, you know, and people are just like so focused on her beauty, you
yeah,
know? But it works.
yeah. All right. Then what can we look forward from you in 2020? What are we getting from Rudo in terms of be it modeling, be it music, be it the creative space? What is it that you're working on at the moment and you expect to give us in 2021?
Wow. I do intend to definitely continue the work that I've been doing with Sisters Next Generation. That's a local initiative where we're training young women, we're empowering them, you know, to take more spaces, you know, in the creative sector as music producers, music managers, photographers, and podcasting, sound engineering.
Yeah,
Um, I want to definitely explore that and grow that. We ultimately want to have a hub here in Wulayo as well as in Harare, you know, where women can come through and they can have access to all the equipment that they need. And me personally, as a musician, I would love to release at least 2 EPs, you know, this year.
all right.
I feel like I have a lot of stuff that I need to share through music, you know. 2020 it was a nightmare for a lot of people. You
Yeah,
know, it shook a lot of people. And I feel like 2021 should be a year of healing. It should be a year of growth. So that's what I want to really share in terms of my music. I want to also work on my visuals. So music videos, you know, more music videos will be coming out definitely this year. I want to work with bigger brands. I want to tour. Guys, like get the borders open so we can, you know, see more of this world.
yeah,
In terms of modeling, I want to work with more designers. I want to work
okay.
with more designers in terms of creating clothing, you know, different signature clothing, you know, that works. My brand is, can I say, it's like a confusion. It's like a mixture of Africa meets Europe type thing,
All
you
right.
know. So I know there's a lot of people who look for certain type of outfits, but it's hard to get them. So I would love to make, you know, outfits more accessible to people.
Nice. All right. Thank you so much for your time. This was an honor to have you on earGROUND.
Oh, thank you, King Boaz.
There you have it, people. That was Rudo Amor from Bulawayo. And she has a single out, Choose, which is currently her hottest and latest project. So check it out. Where do people find you in terms of maybe social media links? Where can people find this song? Is it on all media platforms, social media platforms?
Yes, it is available on all social media platforms. Please get on Spotify, guys. Spotify is now here in Zimbabwe. So look for me at Rudo Amor, Rudo Amor. On social media, people can follow me at RUDOAMORMUSIC. So that's Rudo Amor Music.
Ah, nice. All right, there you have it. That was Rudo Amor, another queen from Bulawayo. The king is out.